Hello again. Walking on my daily walk. One way to keep myself active. One way to fill my afternoon with about an hour's walk up the road and back again. And while I was doing so, this great big container lorry or truck, depending on where you come from, decided that it needed to maneuver around. And of course, just a little barangay road. Unlike overseas in Australia, this would not be allowed on what I would call a B-class road, effectively a village road. But as you can see, there are a lot of trucks that get serviced around here, and they're all related to the same company up the road here. A wealthy man into construction. But nevertheless, it's a bit of a hodgepodge kind of situation. My thought for this evening is one about many of you who choose to come to the Philippines on a, what do they call it, a tourist visa. You may well know I might be repeating myself, but tourist visa for many countries is a luxury that many of the countries that around the world don't offer. But with the Philippines, it very fortunately offers the opportunity to come and visit the country for a month, visa free. In other words, you apply for your visa at the border, and many thousands of people around the world come here for holidays, seeking fun in many of the 7,000 islands plus, along with, of course, those on dubious tours, and many, of course, who come here searching for a wife with the idea maybe to retire initially, maybe in a few years, or maybe just on the opportunity of coming here with the idea of finding true love and going from there. Amazing how many people come here for a month and they're married already. Sort of shows an element of us older people. I don't like to say it in a bad way, but so many of you got to get out of the idea that somehow you're desperate. There's no need to be desperate here in the Philippines. There's plenty to go around. Many women are eager to find a foreigner to settle down, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time to find the right one. Case to point, you can find someone who you think is going to be the one, and disappointment follows. And for some, it's a big investment, because we have to remember that we should be doing it on a shoestring. When I say on a shoestring, we should be mindful that, of course, we have money. And of course, we still look at things and we say, wow, that's only a couple of dollars, or that's only a quid. And the point is that it's not. It's whatever it says in pesos. And it's the pesos that you spend, not the dollars, not the pounds, not the rubles. There's no doubt that your pound and your dollar will go a lot further here. But it won't last very long if you buy everything that you think she needs and wants. Because by doing so, you will find yourself in trouble financially, very easily. It's very easy to let your heart and your non-common sense rule your mind. You know, I've said it before, and I'm sure others have done the same. That is that the little things in life mean more to a Filipino who really cares about you than the big things like big ticket items, jewelry, fancy telephones. You know, there was a time when I first came here that everybody measured their success in the world by having an iPhone. But of course, iPhones are top end of the market in terms of cost here. The phone I'm calling you on costs all of 5,000 pesos, 4995. It's a Vivo. Oppo is another one, same family, same stable. And it nevertheless does all of what it needs to be. It's a TV, it's whatever you want it to be. It's a multimedia system. You can do calls around the world. You can do your banking. You can also do many other things. Film your blogs. You don't need anything fancy. After all, if you want to be just an everyday blogger, a phone with good camera is ideal for the job. At the end of the day, it's what they see through the lens of the camera, not the quality necessarily. If you want the quality, well, you have to pay for professional camera gear, and some guys have got it, but unfortunately this little fella tends to stick to the more basic. I find it's more natural, more normal, and therefore, look at that, privacy, and they're waving. They know that you're talking, they know that you're going to show people, and yet everybody's freaking out that you might dare to show somebody's face without their consent. I think we just have to be respectful. I tend to try and put my phone up higher when I'm walking past someone to enable the shot of them not to be shown on camera. And back to what I was talking about. Many of you who do come on tourist visas, a lot of you are Americans, because many of you come here with the idea of not quite sure what you want to do, whether it's going to work out, whether it's going to be the right place to be. Whether you're going to hate it or whether you're going to love it is up to you. And therefore, spending all that money on a SRRV visa when you don't know whether you're going to stay here permanently doesn't make sense. If you marry a Filipino, of course, you can get a married person visa, a 13A, which still costs you money, but it's certainly a lot more flexible for you coming and going. But just remember that if you fall out with that lady, you decide to go your separate ways. Unfortunately, the visa gets cancelled and you have to go back on a tourist visa for a while until you sorted something else out. And of course, tourist visas currently allow you, providing that you can convince the authorities that you're not here for some skullduggery attendance, they can last up to 36 months. On that 36th month, though, you must depart the country for at least 24 hours. And if you do decide to come back straight away, you can do so in 24 hours. Many of you stay a couple of days over there, maybe Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, or maybe just simply Hong Kong. They're all fairly cheap flights. You can do a return flight to these countries for probably less than 10,000 pesos, which is pretty good given that international travel. But unfortunately, the Philippines hasn't got a country right next door that you can literally walk across the border like you can, say, in Thailand or Cambodia to update your visa. So guys, think positive when you come to the Philippines. take your time, don't be in such a rush. They're always going to be here, and the idea that the place is changing so much, you know, there are plenty of beautiful women out here who are more than happy to be your partner, be your companion for life, if that be the case. But just remember, the more you tell them about your money, the more they're curious as to how they maybe can tempt you in being a little bit more free with the wallet. So my advice is dish it out sparingly and honestly and lovingly, but don't allow them to end up where you get to the end of a month and there's nothing left in the pot, because to do that can put you in real harm. And you don't have to look far for many people who have overspent their time in the country and overspent their money that they have to live on. So that's just my thought for this evening, and I hope that I don't get run over as I cross the road, and I hope that your evening is a pleasant one, and that your day, whether it's starting in America or Europe, is going to be a happy and cheerful one. And we'll speak again soon. Bye now.